And the West Virginia Mountaineers are continuing to pound the pavement in the transfer portal in both basketball and football. Really excited about the players on today's docket. Stick around and see who might be visiting Morgantown soon.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby. What is up, guys? Thanks for joining in. As a matter of fact, you know what I forgot to do? Let me go get to my might help if I pulled the sponsors up. I know I was forgetting something. So give me 1 second while I pull that up, embarrassingly enough. Hope you guys are having a good one so far. We got a lot to get to for sure. Listen, man, they continue to go after players, and I don't know who it is that feels like they have to have so many players, but man, it's been a wild ride so far, hasn't it? So I appreciate you guys for joining in. So, well, this isn't good. Oh, that's probably why. Capital T. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Tried to log in too many times. We're just going to have to roll without it, is what it is. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than FanDuel, guys. If you spend that first $5 bet, make sure you go over to FanDuel to check out. If you win, you'll get $250 in bonus bets. That's only at FanDuel, guys. Make sure you're checking that out today. I want to thank you for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. And look, man, when it comes to this staff in both football and basketball, they're doing it big on the portal. They are. They're swinging. They're swinging big for players. And we've got a couple on the docket today, as usual, that I'm excited about, man, and especially on the football side. I think, you know, Sincere Bowser is a player that you probably never heard of yet. And I'll say this, it's another running back. And I don't know why they need so many, but I'll say this. They know what they want in a running back. They'll have very similar qualities. They're explosive. They're fast. They can get downfield in a hiccup. I mean, it's just true. And they can sometimes they can cut, juke in and out. And today we've got, I can't wait to show you the tape on this back today. We're talking about a player that can get in and out of cuts in a hiccup, has very good long speed to pull away from defenders, has a ton of production. We're going to talk about him on the basketball side, man. Obviously it's always great when you can have possible SEC talent on the roster. Well, West Virginia Mountaineer basketball team is reaching out to just that in Duke Miles. He was at Texas A&M, but he's asked for his release. He doesn't want to go there. He'll be flipping somewhere else. West Virginia is in contact with him. This happened yesterday. I haven't been able to get into it till today. We will go over that, and I'll break him down as well. And then the football roster is nuts, guys. It's just the only way to put it. It's nuts. Just what it is, man. I think it's 100 and I think we're at 116. Let's see. We have 41 seniors, 24 juniors, 21 sophomores, 11 freshmen, and 20 redshirt freshmen. So it's a lot of players on the roster right now. I've got that broken down into a bunch of different kind of categories, just to kind of just to break it down just for fun. So we'll go over that too if we have time. Let's jump in, man. So first and foremost, I think the basketball team is going to absolutely swing on a couple other guys. But first, let's get to the football side. I think this is a tangible one because it's actually happening, right? So, Sincere Bowser, what can you say about this kid, man? I was really pleasantly surprised when I turned on the tape. He's 5'10", 184 pounds, played at Iowa Central Community College last year. He's got 3 years remaining. I think this is the biggest thing with him. He is potentially got 4 years remaining if he gets that JUCO waiver. His 2024 stats are 155 carries, 1,000 yards, 6.5 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns, 24 receptions for 363 yards, which is 15 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. He had 344 yards in kick returns, 148 yards in punt returns, and a touchdown. And he's just a versatile freshman, guys, a freshman that had 1,800 all-purpose yards. If you got 1,000 rushing, 300 receiving, almost 500 in the return game, almost 7 yards a carry, 15 yards per catch, super efficient player. And he had a 100-yard return in a game this year. He's from Pittsburgh and Harrisburg, which is a pretty big city, I think around 500,000 people. And where he rushed for 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns as a senior and earned 6A All-State honors. Also started as a return specialist and defensive back. And you're going to see those return specialist skills on display when we put on the tape. So he's got offers from everywhere. Florida State, Bowling Green, Old Dominion, Troy, Georgia, Georgia State, Western Michigan, West Virginia, others. And here's the scouting takes. 247 says, this is one of their JUCO analysts, Bowers is a compact, explosive back with elite burst and vision. His 7 yards per carry shows that he hits holes quickly. His 15 yards per average in catches after this year shows that he's a weapon in the passing game. And his return ability was truly among the best in all of JUCO this year, which adds a dimension to his game that makes him valuable for a potential place that swipe him up on a bargain right now. Needs to add bulk to handle power 4 physicality, but has a running back 1 potential. This is a buy low, get high type situation. I'm telling you all, this kid's a freshman, and I can't wait to turn the tape on and show you this one, because this one is so damn obvious when you turn on the tape that, like, holy cow, how did teams overlook this player? It truly blows my mind when I see this. There's no way this guy should be on a JUCO roster as a freshman, but here we are. His coach said this: since he's a playmaker, he changes games with 1 touch. He's got speed. He's got elusiveness. It makes him extremely dangerous in space, which is why we design plays to get him ball in space. And he's got a nose for the end zone. He's a tough PA kid who doesn't shy away from contact. The Rivals 247 the Rivals recruiting analyst said Bowers' versatility is his calling card. He's not just a runner, but a complete offensive weapon who can line up in the slot, return kicks, return punts, makes people miss, dances around, and he can stiff arm and run people over at times. His 184-pound frame is a concern for durability, but his quickness and ball skills are truly off the charts and projects to a high major position at the FBS level. These are all analysts saying this that do this for a living. The fit with West Virginia. Under Rich Rod, obviously the 55 transfers. Well, we got 5 from the JUCO ranks, with a bunch of guys, and I tell you, obviously, Cannon Katzer is a Ferris State kid from D2. You've got obviously Jalen Knighton from SMU. Ty Edwards is from Northern Iowa. You got Clay Ash, Dior Hubbard, Jaheim White. That's not 5 from the JUCO ranks. I apologize. That was a mistype on my part. So let's get to the hot piss meter. Is this a nuclear piss sighting? Is he going to be nuclear on the hot piss scale? That's the question, right? For those of you who don't understand what I'm saying here, hot piss is a saying that West Virginia fans have now, because it's when Rich Rod got rehired to West Virginia, somebody got interviewed and said, oh, he still pisses really hot. And in other words, in a country roundabout way, that's basically the way to say, oh, he's still got a lot of energy. He's still got a lot of juice, right? Rich Rod still pisses hot. So I've built a hot piss meter to kind of rank our transfers and the potential for an impact at West Virginia out of 50, right? So athleticism for Sincere Bowser is 9 out of 10. He truly has elite burst. He's got great speed, elite burst. But, obviously the size is a bit undersized, no doubt about it. He's got that 100-yard kickoff return to his record, which you'll see. The only thing that you can really knock him for is his size. And a lot of times in these days, especially in this scheme, being smaller is actually not a bad thing. Fit is an 8.5 out of 10 because the system that Rich Rod runs really, really runs off of versatile backs who can run, catch, and return, right? And that complements White and Edwards, too, in a lot of ways. It's going to be a crowded room. I'm so excited to see who's going to rise to the top of this room. Production's an 8.5 out of 10. He had 1,000 yards, almost 400 receiving yards, almost 500 return yards as a JUCO. I mean, that's just incredible output for a freshman. And so, what would he be in a year or two? As a freshman, he's crushing it. Versatility is 9.5 out of 10. He does it all. We've said it multiple times. He's like a 5-tool player in baseball. I think the upside is 8.5 out of 10. He's got 3, possibly 4 years remaining and has significant growth potential left. He needs to add weight for Big 12 physicality, but he definitely develop into a starter. There's no doubt about it. And I've got him a nuclear hot piss rated 44 out of 50. His explosiveness, his versatility, his long-term eligibility, his burst, his speed, everything you're about to see on tape makes him a high-impact addition, guys. 1,800 all-purpose yards as a freshman is incredible. And really his return ability, receiving ability, address for immediate needs because he can play different positions. You can play him on the same down as Jaheim White on first down in the slot. You can put him on the end to chip in the defensive end with Jaheim White. If you want to hand the ball to Jaheim, you can chip somebody on the edge or whatever you want to do with this kid. So the only thing you can question is the step from JUCO to the Big 12, but it happens. Literally dozens of kids every year move from JUCO to SEC to ACC to Big 12. It's not something that doesn't ever happen. It happens every year, multiple times, right? So this is not a big statement to say that this kid would or would not translate, right? Let's go to break really quick, guys. On the other side, we'll show you the tape on this kid so you can see why I'm excited because he's got some wild plays on tape. We'll be right back. This is Locked On West Virginia. Stick around. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel, guys. When it comes to FanDuel right now, did you know the NBA playoffs is where it's at, and you can get in on the action right now, guys, but you have to do it through FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now, when you place that first $5 bet, FanDuel is going to – you got to win first, but once you win, you can get up to $250 in bonus bets, but you have to win. Make sure you to check out FanDuel, guys, wherever you get your podcast on this episode of Locked On West Virginia. It's segment 2, and we're going to drink a Code Red Dew. Crack-a-doo. And let's jump in here and show a little tape, my favorite time of the day. What time is it? It's tape time, baby. So Sincere Bowser is just a truly versatile monster. And I got to watching his tape earlier this afternoon, and I already know what to expect because Rich Rod and company aren't going to recruit somebody that doesn't have skill. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to recruit a piece of crap. It's just the way it is. Like, if all the players in this system, running backs got to hit. Running backs got to hit, right? So here we are. There's one where it's behind the line of scrimmage. I want to go there first. Let's see. I think it might be. There it is right here. This is him. This is an awesome camera angle of them in practice. Here's Sincere right here, and in the shotgun. As you can see, he's not huge, but he's not small really. He's got really long arms. Love the frame. He just got to put on some weight. But look at the cut ability and watch how he looks as an athlete, and you'll see right away that he's got really good skill talent. As you can see, obviously the O-line washes down, and then he makes a great cut to the outside.
Nice cut! Nice cut!
His defender with a stiff arm and puts him on the ground and goes the distance to the end zone, and everybody's really excited. Love to see that. Now let's watch this 1 minute clip up here of Sincere as he just makes guys look silly over and over on this clip. This is a really good clip of him as well. Here he is. This is him on the return, guys, I believe, or punt return, kick return. Watch how great he weaves in and out of traffic, and watch the cut ability of this player. Boop, boop, just beautiful. Love to see that. And then he's got incredible speed too. I mean, you can just tell by the way this kid's moving. He's moving at a different gear, and the way he cuts to get outside defenders. This is truly valued for me as a running back, somebody that watches running back. You know, watch how he cuts to get it. A lot of guys are straight line guys. There aren't a lot of guys that can cut on the run like Tavon could. Not saying he's to that level, but he's our best example, right? So I love these cuts. And if he can do that right here, then he could do it at a running back spot too, right? So and then you can see he's got such great speed. When he gets to the outside, it's a wrap for you. You ain't catching him. I mean, this kid really can move, and I really love the way he runs the football. Obviously, this would be a developmental piece that could play on special teams right away. This is punt return right away. Look at the hurdle. I mean, just the athleticism this kid has is off the charts. Like, are you telling me this right here didn't get recruited at all? How is this kid don't get recruited? How does that freshman go to the Juco route? I don't understand it personally. You know, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I can watch this kid on tape and see that he's for sure. There's no doubt about it. This is an absolute Division I football player. Like, I don't know how people missed. And in the state of Pennsylvania that grows players like this, shocking. Here he is catching the ball in the backfield. Look at that cut. You want to talk about a little see you later? Look at this cut. He stumbles, but left, right, left, chop, chop, chop. Nice play there as well. You know, and then if you want the more traditional angle for tape, you can go this route right here, which is kind of hard to see. Maybe we'll watch a different one than this one because it's a little bit too small. Let's go up to, and as you can see, by the way, he has Florida State. Other teams are looking at him, you know, so it's not like he doesn't have any options or anything like that. So here's a more traditional style of tape if you want to see it this way. Highlights anyway. Oops, sorry about that. But so just a couple more plays really quick. So, you know, right away, one of the things I love about him is a slide step, which is whenever he gets into, it's basically right before they get the handoff. I just love how smooth this little step is he does right before he gets the football. Watch how he just kind of slides before he gets the ball. I don't know. To me, I just like it. Right here. The little slide, boop, and then he's gone. And then he's got all these different cuts that he does. Really fun running back to watch. And as a true freshman or a redshirt, I'm not sure if he's true or redshirt, but as a freshman, can you imagine how good this kid will be in 2 or 3 years as long as he stays injury-free? There's a lot of upside here, and I can see why Rich Rod and them would want to get in on this action right now. I mean, look how far out in front of everybody he is here. He is at least 20 yards out in front of everybody. Once he gets to the open field, watch the burst. Nobody's catching him. You know, so this is a big one. I really like him. I don't know if you guys think how you guys feel about it. I know there are some of you guys that – here's a kickoff return. This is a 100-yard kickoff return. Look at the speed. Gone. Nobody's catching him. He's way out in front, 5 yards out in front of people, and then he does the finish line. Love to see that. So, you know, obviously Sincere Bowser, I gave him a lot of love here just now, but I think it's well-deserved, guys. I think this is a player West Virginia could absolutely use and would love to see him in Morgantown. We can't have too many of these guys that can both catch and run with it. So, you know, and as a freshman, He has no pressure. He doesn't have to play today. So I think that's the best of all worlds, which is why I give him a nuclear hot piss rating. I don't know. I think that's the best way to do it, buddy. Nuclear hot piss rating for sure for this kid. So, and it was a total score of 44 out of 50, which is one of the very highest I've given. But of all the running backs that we've evaluated up until now, including my boy Cannon Katzer, I like this kid just a little bit more. They continue to go back in there and go after some of these really big time players. So he reminds me of Jock Sanders quite a bit. He reminds me a little bit of Darius Raynaud. He's got some of that in him, absolutely. I don't know, he's not as thick as those guys were yet, but he's definitely got some of those some of those physical tools. So would be interesting to see how he looks in this offense. And like I said, you pick him up, you can set him behind a couple guys. He's got playing time under his belt at Juco. So if he's got to play, he can probably step in and do it. Not that he don't have the talent. I'm just saying as a freshman, he don't have to play right now, Let's go to break real quick 6-second break. We'll talk about everything else on the other side. Duke Miles from Oklahoma. Could he be a Mountaineer? Well, they're going to try. We'll talk about that next. All right, guys, we are back here on Locked On West Virginia. Something I want to address really quick. First of all, I want to thank Keenan Cummings for this list that I'm going to talk about here in a second. I was like, I sent him a message earlier. Keenan Cummings works for Rivals, and I was like, hey man, I need a list of like all the players. Like I can find the roster and I can find the portal, but I've never found one and all in one place. And he just happened to make one yesterday, so it was perfect timing. So whenever I do this list here in a few, I want to make sure Keenan gets his love. And I posted today on social media that Jalen Henderson, if you didn't know, the quarterback of West Virginia, would be coming on the show. And it was brought to my attention that I needed to pay him to come on. Initially the conversation wasn't that direction. And maybe it's my oversight for not assuming that he should have been. But I was contacted by some folks at West Virginia that said that I needed to do that. So there's a couple ways we can go about it. If anybody wants to help donate to some NIL for Jalen Henderson to come on the show, it wouldn't be a ton of money. I'll have to talk with him to see exactly what number we're talking about. Maybe a few $100s or something around there. But if anybody wants to donate towards that, we can figure something out, whether that's PayPal or we can just send it maybe directly to him or something like that. Maybe I'll do like a temporary something. But, if that's something you're interested in helping me do to get him on the show, he hasn't done any public interviews yet. It would be the first one was going to be here. It means a lot to me, but I only want to do it if it means a lot to you. At the end of the day, if you want to meet Jalen and have him answer some of your questions, because that's what we were going to do. We were going to have him answer some personal questions that you guys had, and we're going to make a fun time out of it. And I still want to do that, because I promoted it already at this point. And I really believe in Jalen, as a lot of you guys know. I believe in Nico too. He's just really hard to get a hold of. So I figured, Jalen would maybe be easier. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone all the way my way today. But, if some of you guys maybe want to help with that, just reach out to me, or I'll do a poll on X, or we'll figure something out in the Discord or something. But if not, then, we can just drop it and move on. So, all right, that's it for that. West Virginia has reached out to Oklahoma transfer Duke Miles, guys. And, this is a big one. I really, the unfortunate thing about this one, guys, is I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of tape on it yet. I decided to watch the running back because he was visiting for sure. West Virginia has only reached out to Duke Miles, and I have not been able to confirm independently that he's coming to West Virginia yet. Now, I'm told that they're trying really hard and that there's a pretty good chance that he may end up visiting still. He just visited Georgetown, so we'll have to see. But he is literally one of the missing pieces for this team. And let's break him down. So he's 6'2", 188 pounds, so he's a bit bigger than what we already have had. He's only got one aerial eligibility remaining. He's currently was committed to Texas A&M, but he's asked for a release from that. So that's probably not going to happen, obviously. He played in 34 games last year. He started in 34 games for Oklahoma last year. I think Porter Moser's their coach, although he may have went somewhere else. He's been at High Point. He's been at Troy. So there's the crossover. Jackson Fields from Troy. I'm assuming they probably played together at some point. He averaged 9 points a game, 2 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1.5 steals a game, 51.4% from the floor, and 43% from three, 83% from the line. He's the definition of an elite three-point shooter in every stretch of the word. 2.7 attempts per game. So not a ton of attempts, but man, does he knock down the ones he takes, and at a higher volume could probably be a much better scorer / player. So like I said, at Oklahoma, he started all 34 games. The Sooners were 20-13. They made the NCAA tournament. So, this is a starter on a tournament team. That's always really good to see. At High Point, where he was given more of the usage, he averaged close to 18 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and the same 1.5 steals a game. And he was a Big South Newcomer of the Year, our all Big South first-team player, 52.8% from the field and 35% from three. So, maybe he's closer to that 35% at high usage. But, if you're going to give it to him, and seems like maybe that 3 a game is a great spot for him to be in, then you're going to get a high percentage out of him as long as you can get him to his spots. He's a dynamic scoring guard, though. He really is. Like, I've watched a little bit of tape, just not enough to feel comfortable breaking him down all the way. Like, I feel like I don't have everything that I need yet, because I like to watch for some tendencies. I like to form my opinion watching actual game footage, but it's just not able to be done today. So, he's got a knack for efficient shot making. That's for sure, guys. 43% from three at Oklahoma was a huge leap from his career 35% mark. So he's expanding that range, which a lot of players are doing these days, really quick off the dribble. He can create his own shot, which is very valuable and something we don't have a whole ton of on this team. So he would add that to this team. I think he's got a really high basketball IQ, and defensively, he's a dog. 1.5 steals a game. He's got really active hands. He's 6'2", but I mean, he really can. He gets up underneath some of those bigger wings. He really does. His assistant coach from Oklahoma last year said Duke adapted well to an off-ball role after being a primary creator at High Point. His work ethic is second to none, and he has a big shot ability in him. And he's made our locker room a better place. He's not a pure point guard, but he can handle secondary playmaking duties. So pretty high praise for him. Recruiting analyst at High Point said, at High Point, he showed he'd be a lead guard, scoring bursts, speed, and finishing at the rim are great and great pluses for him. But he's got to refine that decision-making under pressure to excel at the high major level. Obviously, we have 10 players on the roster now, or 9, whatever it is. We got a lot of good three-point shooters, absolutely. But we don't have many guys that can create their shot like, I feel like Connor Huff can a little. Obviously Trey Eaglestaff can. But we do have some spot shooters. We've got some inside presence, but we definitely need some more guards that can create shots. You can never have enough of that. On the hot piss meter, out of 50, guys. Athleticism, 8.5 out of 10. He's quick. He's explosive. He's agile. He really is. He's really good in transition. Finishes through contact at 6'2" very well, but that size does limit him vertically in a lot of situations. The fit here is 9 out of 10. This is a kid that plays tough defense. I think he's definitely fits the need for a scoring guard who can space the floor and defend aggressively, because he will do that. The fact that he played in the SEC suits the Big 12's intensity really well. especially last year. His production, I give him an 8.5 out of 10 at 9.4 points per game and 43% from three and 83% from the line. Are you kidding me? Give it to me all day and every day on Wednesday. Versatility is 8.5 out of 10. I think he can play off the ball. I think he can score at all three levels. He can defend multiple spots. And, is he limited to primary playmaking? Maybe. 2 assists per game is not great. Needs to get better there. Upside, 7.5 out of 10. He's a grad transfer with a year left. So his upside is not really, there is none left. It's this year, right? So it's nothing against him. It's just he's kind of done what he's going to do, and he might grow a little bit more for sure. But, we've seen that happen like with Javon Small, right? It can happen. But I think his upside is going to be more immediate impact and not long-term. So his shooting and defense could elevate us to a tournament team, in my opinion, giving him a hot piss score of 42 out of 50, right on the edge of nuclear, guys, right on the border of nuclear hot piss. So, the rationale here is elite shooting, defensive tenacity, veteran presence, high impact fit, his ability to score efficiently, disrupt opponents, which aligns with what Coach Hodge likes to do. The deductions here come from the 1 year of eligibility, limited primary playmaking, occasional inconsistency against top defenses. But I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's a near ideal addition for a postseason push. Truly. Like if West Virginia could get this, it would be an A to A plus ad. So, and I don't know what you're paying a guy like this, probably in the high 7, 8s. So, there's a lot to it. I think at the end of the day, we've got to hope that we can get an addition like this. And then I think we'd be really set once we get another big, maybe one more wing. But I trust the staff. I think they're doing all they can with what they have in year one. I mean, they were really hot there for a few weeks. We really paid a lot of money out. The house settlement is kind of going on right now. We don't know what's going to go on there. This is my move when something's being drawn out. This is what I do when that happens. But at the, that's where I'm at with it. All right. So let's break this roster down while we don't, because I just want to. We're going to do it. So I'm going to bring you guys over to my X page here where I've got some things broken down for funsies. Let's do it. Let me get you guys over here to here. So what I did was I just told it, hey, look, kind of put the roster in a situation where it's broken down by position and with what year they are, basically, right? So as it stands now, you got 7 quarterbacks on the roster with Scotty Fox, Khalil Wilkins, Max Anderson, Max Brown, Scott King, Nico Marchiol, Jalen Henderson, who was the only senior in the room. Running backs, you got Dior Hubbard, who was a redshirt freshman, Clay Ash, sophomore, Jaheim White Jr., Cannon Katzer Jr., Ty Edwards Jr., Jalen Knighton Jr. No seniors in that room. Wide receivers, Tyshawn Dews is a freshman, Armani Weaver's a freshman, Camden Pittsburgh's a freshman, Cam Bond is a redshirt freshman, which is just insane, guys, to think about that. Christian Hamilton's a redshirt freshman, Cyrus Trawl, a redshirt freshman, Rodney Gallagher, sophomore, Gerard Bowie, sophomore, Gerald Williams, Jordan McCants, Justin Smith-Brown, Jaden Bray, Oron Singleton, Jeff Weimer, Preston Fox, and Logan Ramper. What a freaking wide receiver room that is. I mean, look at all those names, guys. And I mean, you got a guy like Armani Weaver down here that I'm extremely high on as a true freshman that I don't know how he's going to get anything done in this room, to be honest. I think it'll happen. Just maybe not this year. Rogan Ramper is the elder statesman in the room. Are you kidding me? And Preston Fox and Jeff Weimer, Oron Singleton and Jaden Bray, Justin Smith-Brown. More than I thought it was going to be. I think, this room has a chance to be really good, guys. This wide receiver room has got some dogs in it now. We already watched Logan Ramper, who is 6'4". We've got, Jaden Bray, who was right around 6'2", 6'3". Justin Smith-Brown, 6'1". Jeff Weimer, I think, is 6 feet tall. Preston Fox, smaller, and Oron Singleton, smaller. But, man, we got some of our juniors are good players in that room. It's going to be really exciting to see. Surely to God, I mean, this is wide receiver number 1 right here, right? We know that. Cam Bond, wide receiver number 1. It's not even a question. So, if we can find just somebody, anybody to offset him, we're going to be really good on offense, I think, as long as the O-line comes together. Now, tight end room is super interesting, too. You got Ryan Ward, Noah Braham, Colin McBee, Grayson Barnes, Greg Genross, and Jacob Barrick. First of all, if Genross can just turn into what I think he can be, and let's just, while we're here, can we just go look? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Because, his tape's disgusting. He's 6'7". He's 240 pounds. It's insane. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, Genross is just built different. And to show this to you, let me show you guys this picture really quick of Genross. Like, he's a monster of a person. Seriously. Look at this guy. Do you want to have to go up against this guy? I don't. But, I mean, if you look at the tape here, we'll show a couple plays. I know it's a little small. You may not be able to see it, but there he is. Look how fast he runs. Like, this dude is different, man. If he can just turn it on, if he can just figure it out, this guy has a chance to be so, so good for us as a receiving option. He's got everything literally from a physical standpoint that you could possibly want. Maybe on the whole team from a physical standpoint. I mean, he runs like a deer, So I'll be really interested to see what it is with him that if he's not making an impact, what's the deal there, Could be one of those names that they chose not to talk about this offseason because they knew, like, tampering kind of deal. But, I just thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about that. Anyways, so, let's see what happens with him. Then you got offensive linemen. You got 22 offensive freaking linemen. Insane, dude. So, Philip Bowser, Brandon Hamidi, Jameer Davis, Trevor Bigelow, Robbie Martin, Josh Isosa, Andreas Hunter, Raymond Kovalevsky, Griffin Fogel, Nick Cray, Aiden Bussell, Cooper Young, Wyatt Minor, Xavier Bosley, Lanning Livingston, Malik Agbo, Donovan Haslam, Carson Lee, Walter Youngbear, Kimo Makanayole, Tykees Crawford, and Mikkel Clay. I have no idea. I could put 5 together, but I mean, any 3 at any given time, it could be wrong. Like, seriously, you could have anybody from starting wise. You could have somebody as young as Isosa win a starting job, and you could have somebody as old as Mikkel Clay win a job. I have no clue. Kimo Makanayole was a defensive lineman last year, but he was an offensive lineman at first and got switched. And he supposedly had one of the best springs of anybody. So I don't know what's going on anymore. 11 defensive ends. Brandon Caesar, Wilson Telemek, Quentin Goins, Taylor Brown, Carter Zuliani, which that's an interesting one. Asani Redwood, who's been here forever, it seems like. Adam Tomchek, Jackson Beiser, Jamoy Robinson, Hammond Russell, Eddie Kelly. These last 3 dudes are absolute dogs. I think Tomchek is as well. Absolute dogs. And you got Asani Redwood as well. Absolute dogs. Corey McIntyre, if he puts it all together, could have a all Big 12 season. From what we've heard about him. Haven't seen him play yet and not even snap. Nate Gabriel came on extremely strong last year as a redshirt freshman. You got Elijah Simmons and Eddie B there. I'd really like to see us add one more body there. I know we've tried. It hasn't gone great. Hopefully they'll get one before the season's over or the portal season's over. Linebackers is a big room. Michael Hasty, Cam Torber, who is my absolute dog, man. If you guys watch me for very long, you'll know I'm a big Cam Torber fan. Played in Alabama at one of the most prestigious high schools in Alabama at Hoover High, and his tape is disgusting. He runs sideline to sideline like nobody's business. Curtis Jones is due for a breakout year. We know Ben Bogle. I've told you guys I think will be one of the best players on the defense this year. Ben Cutter, Marshawn Oxley, who can pass rush it, Kenny Neck, who can pass rush it, Braden Siders, who was pass rushing all spring long, Chase Wilson, who had over 200 tackles, Devin Grant, who had almost 8 sacks. Reed Carrico came from Ohio State, is due to have a big year. John Lewis came from the Power 4 level and is due to have another big year. And Caden Beiser's been here forever. As a senior, is supposed to could step up and have a big year himself. The linebacker room is pretty well set, with my predictions being Chase Wilson and probably Ben Bogle along with Ben Cutter. Or I'm sorry, Ben Bogle along with Reed Carrico as the main guys. And I don't know, maybe somebody breaks out, but look at the safeties in Nichols' room. Julian Horton, Chris Filippo, Tyrell Russell, Jason Cross, who obviously came over from App State, Israel Boyce, Zay Jennings, who can be one of the most talented players on the team, number 17, man. Watch out for him as he made a huge impact on special teams at times last year. Caleb Gray's tape's impressive at JUCO. Fred Perry's one of the hardest hitters. Obviously, he's not the best cover safety or nickel, but he's a great hitter as a run defender. Jordan Walker comes as one of the 2 or 3 highest. Per 247, Jordan Walker is one of our highest rated players from the portal. Kiki Tarnu is probably due for a breakout year, being he's coming back with Rich Rod and everything. Harrington, as far as pedigree goes, is maybe as high as anybody on the team, playing at Washington and Oklahoma before that. You got William Davis, who comes from Virginia Union, who had just so much production there. Literally one of the most disgusting stat sheets you're ever going to see is William Davis Jr. And then Darren Lewis, who my dude Bip had rated a 5-star transfer. And I think, the tape justifies at least a 4-star transfer. I don't know if I could say quite 5, but I do believe in Darren Lewis, and I think Darian Lewis. I'm sorry, and I'm going to think he's going to make a big impact. Corners, you got Dwayne Galloway, Kamaris Bomar, who I'm surprised isn't a wide receiver based off his tape. But, I understand why he's not as well. Keyshawn Robinson, Nick Taylor, Jaden Bell, Michael Coach Jr., who could be one of the best corners in the entire country this year if things go right. What's projected for him? Like, he was highly sought after. Mike Golick Jr. put out the tweet about it, about Michael Coach Jr. Jordan Scruggs is another one that's got a lot of upside. Derek Carter Jr., who most people have penciled in as the starter. Devontae Golden Nelson, another Akron product. Jason Chambers from App State. And then you got Ty Crutcher that snuck in here recently last. And then at specialists, you got Caden Seller, Ethan Head, Nate Flower, McGuire Moss, RJ Cochran, Oliver Straw, who could be one of the best punters, not the best punter in the country this year, and Kate Hensley. So I've got my roster notes written here, but overall, guys, I just think this is a super interesting time to be a Mountaineer fan, and I am very excited to see where all this goes. The roster is wild right now, man. There's no doubt about that. There are a couple things I have about all this is 55% of the roster is junior or above. So this is an older roster. Like, there's still a lot of older players on this roster. Let's see if they play like it. Thank you guys for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. If you do me a favor, though, check out the Portal Report next, guys. Damian Parson and Keith Sanchez do an awesome job covering your players going to the NFL Draft. Make sure you check them out, guys, over on Locked On Portal Report. I'm sorry, NFL Draft, Locked On NFL Draft, wherever you get your podcasts or watch YouTube, guys. Like the video, please, before you go. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. And absolutely, I want to thank Mike Montoro for the phone call today. That was nice of him to call me and explain things to me. Some things I didn't understand about the situation. So that was nice. And they took their jobs. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully, we got some great news coming up in the next couple of days about players. We always want more players, but we'll settle for some wins, won't we? See you guys later. Have a great rest of your week, and I'm out of here.